start from the start with the current party, like Yakusame and Dead Katsu.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We met in that little village or whatever that was. What was that? I don't know what that was called, but whoever we met a Warthon.
We left it pretty quickly. We all learned that we were tied by fate.
Yeah, in some way or form.
Yeah.
Our scrolls that we kind of showed you and talked about, Winter, they kind of led us all to where a Warthon was, essentially. And then we kind of realized we were all connected by fate with this weird kind of thing we saw. So we kind of stuck together, and Warthon needed help with his little escapade into this cave. He knew where it was at. He just needed some help to get there, I guess. So Yakusame and Katsu were like, "Yeah, we'll help you go get this thing you're looking for."
Connected by fate.
Yeah, so he guided us. So Warthon guided us.
No money.
Yeah, he didn't even hire us. He just guided us. We said we'd help him. And then he guided us to this cave through this forest and stuff. And we saw some spooky stuff, creepy stuff on the way. I mean, throughout all of this. Like on the way to this city and then through the woods to this cave, you know, we saw some spooky shit on the roads, like dogs with people's faces and like little creepy kid faces on things, like some creepy ass shit, right? It's kind of hard to just describe what all it was. Because at the time, as characters, we didn't really even know what it was. But yeah, exactly. But so some creepy shit happened, and then we get to the cave, and then we find this stone, I believe it was, right, where Warthon was kind of like pulled to.
Yeah, he still has that.
Yeah, and he still has a stone. Warthon wanted to go, and we found his little stone. As we were finding the stone, a group came in after us, also looking for the stone, and we hid from them for a little while. And if I remember correctly, when we came back out, they were gone, right? They had left.
Yeah, but they found you.
Right, but and then so we leave the cave, and we're heading back to the town that we started in, but we have to camp throughout the night. And in that night, we get ambushed by like chimera people, right? If I'm not mistaken.
So that was after we ran into the necromancers, though. The people that had been hunting a Warthon.
Oh,
because we had one of them.
right.
We had one of them captive, and he killed himself.
Yeah. Yeah. So we ran into necromancers first. I don't remember exactly how that went, but I think they just left us on purpose. If they wanted to kill us, I think they could have. I don't remember.
So we ran into them. It was super spooky. We were like traveling through the forest, and they look just like, they've got their skull fucking like helmets on, and they've got like these spooky shrouds, and they're like, "You will turn him over to us, so we're going to fuck your day up," and we're like, "Nah."
Nah, fam.
So we find out that they're fledgling necromancers, and we managed to like kill them, knocking one guy out, like kind of in these woods, but like they raised their buddies, and we're like, "Oh, they're necromancers." Yeah. And I don't think they gave a Warthon any peace at all.
No. He was shooketh.
That fight, as you can imagine fighting necromancers, I think we got like a little beat up, and that's why we went to camp and got jumped by the chimeras. Yeah,
I think that's right. We weren't planning on camping in the forest, but we were beat up, and it took some time, and we had to make camp. And then during that camp, we got jumped by like chimera people, which are just this creepy, like, abominations.
Dog, withered, like.
Yeah, no idea what they were, where they came from. Maybe like made in a fucking lab or something, seemingly. That's what I remember anyway, but.
They were also led by a
pretty
shadow.
good memory.
And led by a shadow thing, yeah. And that's what I thought could have killed us if it wanted to, right?
Oh yeah, no, that easily. Like,
and it like let us go or something.
Like it just like I think it looked at Katsu, and Katsu passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Katsu fainted, and Yakusame rolled a nat 20 to resist its intimidation.
Yeah.
And it was like it smirked at you. It was like, oh, okay.
But that's basically what he was pulled to, and he has it now, and now it's leading him somewhere else. Right? Am I correct in that?
Yep.
Yeah, now it's kind of leading him somewhere else.
Directly east along the road.
Yeah.
And Winter knows where that goes.
Katsu and Yakusame and Warthon head east along the road, and then we come across some travelers, and they were late for a wedding. They were trying to get to a wedding, I believe. Were they? Was one already injured? I can't remember.
Yeah, he showed up, and one of them had their knee hurt.
Yeah, one of them's leg was injured, and we're like, yeah, we'll help you get to the city that we're going, little village or whatever that we're going to too. We're heading that direction. And then it turns out we could have took the road to go around. It would have took some time. We probably would have been late and missed the wedding. Or we could go through this forest. Yeah, or we could go through this forest to be a shortcut, but it's a big long forest, right? Long story.
They found these hikers, basically, who were on their, I call them hikers or travelers, on the way to that wedding. They were like, oh shit, you know, Awarthon tries to help the guy, you know, stabilizes him a bit, but his knee's so fucked up that he can't really walk at normal pace. And like, fuck, dude, the wedding, we need to get to it. We were like, basically, hike running. That's why we got hurt. We need to get over there. Everybody's like, well, it's just like straight through this forest. Like, you can see it over there. Like, there's a lights of the village over there. It's like, you know, it's a little dark. It's like 5 p.m. and we can fucking shortcut this shit.
So we're like, yeah, we'll go through the forest. We'll help you and your buddy through the forest. Shit, super. And in that forest, let me tell you, Yakusame was changed. Katsu's probably scarred.
Katsu.
Yeah, Katsu's scarred for life. Awarthon too.
So on the way down into the forest,
yeah, right there.
Katsu fell really hard. Fell down the fucking ridge, down into the ravine.
So
Made a path for everyone else though. He fell so hard that he created a walkway.
Yeah.
He fell down every incline, every slope, every hill.
And then he dropped, I believe at that point is when he dropped something, right? I found a petrified wood or something where he hit.
You found a nice piece of petrified wood where he hit. That was a jab at the player.
That was a jab at me as a human.
But so you start going into this woods. It's, you know, it's dark, thick, untraveled, piney gorge woods, and you run into an elk that had been put up into the trees, gutted.
Do you know what episode that
down.
is? I'll just share it.
I don't. It's probably just called the shortcut through the forest or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find it.
Or the shortcut.
The shortcut or something like that. So they run into an elk that's been gutted and hung up in a tree, not with anything, just put onto the tree branches, like through it. And they're like, oh, okay, that's fucked up. And they kept going, and then they find all these like runic symbols carved into these trees. They're like, oh, okay, this is fine. And they keep going, and then it gets dark, and the storm hits. It's a fucking brutal, just drenched storm. They're running into more runes and dead things hanging in trees. And they come upon this cabin, just run down, abandoned cabin out in the middle of this forest. Again, surrounded in a wall of trees with runes carved into it. And they're like, fuck, well, let's go in there. And again, this is the party, Yakusame, Awarthon, Katsu, and then the 4 hikers, or 4 travelers. And they bust the door into the cabin, which had been barred off, and like, fuck, okay, let's sleep here. Yeah. And some shit happens in that night. You know, they discover there was something upstairs. They all have their own nightmares, and their own, individual encounters. And at some point, during the following morning, they all, you know, realize that they've been dreaming and wake up and repress what happened.
Well, some of the travelers we were with had like pissed their pants, were like outside having psychotic breakdowns.
Some of the party too.
Yeah, some of the party
Katsu
too.
woke up with 3 holes in his chest.
Yeah, Katsu woke up with 3 holes in his chest.
Poked their fingers and like grabbed his heart.
Yep.
He was naked outside with 3 holes in his chest. Like, it's not how you want to wake up. He was on the 2nd floor when he fell asleep.
Yakusame had failed a lot during those dreams, but in the end, I think she kind of stood up to it again, right? And like was able to just kind of wake up fine.
There was a lot of narration around that.
Yeah,
But you guys had some fucked up nightmares and some weird things happen, and nobody wanted to talk about it.
Right.
At all. Nobody would fucking talk about that. You're like, everybody kind of just packed up, tucked in their pants,
Alright, let's
and
move.
let's go. And you continued onward through this forest. And again, that guy's knees all fucked up. And was it Katsu or Yakusame who went up the hill to scout? I can't remember.
I believe
I know-
Yakusame
Yeah, I
sent
know
her
Yakusame
familiar.
saw. Yeah, I
Oh,
sent
yeah,
Levante.
you
You
did.
sent your cat, and your cat's
Yeah.
like, what the
I saw.
fuck is that?
I saw like an antler, a giant antler.
saw a
or something.
hand.
Yeah, like
or
a hand
yeah.
20 feet up. or
Yeah, a
something.
hand.
You know, eventually you run into some more weird stuff. Like you find a path with these like torch spots, but they're not lit. And you know, continuing on, and then you guys kind of get lost. Throughout the travels, you end up stumbling upon an old camp that had been like, you know, it's been there a while, but it was
Yeah.
abandoned. Abandoned in a way where it seems like people disappeared unintentionally.
Right.
You know, all their stuff was still there. And then you had some rough nights, you know, where those people you're with, some of them just kind of got fucking murdered
there
right
was
in front of you.
also like as we were walking, we came across another like building, like shack, like we had seen the night before.
A little different, but yeah.
A little different, but we'd had the option to like stop, but none of us wanted to stop and sleep in a place like that again. So we were like, we'll just keep going, I think. And then
Mhm.
I don't remember exactly.
You kept
If we
going,
camped
and
on
you
the
started to
road
camp
or-
out. You
Yeah.
camped a little off the road, nearby that other campsite.
Yeah.
And that night, one or two of the people you were traveling with disappeared.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, where'd they go? It was like, they disappeared
Screams and
right in
shit,
front
I
of
think,
you.
too, yeah.
Yeah, and you couldn't find them.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So something was taking these people. We couldn't even like see it. It was so fast, like huge.
Just shut the fuck up and we just keep going.
Keep moving. But that guy's
night
legs all
comes
fucked
again.
up.
Yeah, night comes again, more people. Basically, it ends up just being you three left. At that point, I think you three and the guy with the fucked up leg.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Fucking trend.
And, yeah, Tren, I think that was his name.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, oh my god, what the fuck are we gonna do? And then you find another one of these houses in the night. I think you guys just said, fuck that place, just lit it on fire.
Yeah, I straight lit it on fire. I didn't think twice. I saw like an old lady in there or something.
Yeah, you saw an
And,
old lady in like a bigger shack. It wasn't even a shack, it was like a big, almost a full-sized house, and like set up and just like instantly lit it on fire.
I don't think it'll be spoilers, but interesting fact, if you had witnessed the dreams of Yakusame, the lighting on fire instantaneously would probably make more sense. Probably doesn't make too much sense. She just walks up and lights it on fire.
Oh, okay. Light it on fire. Perfect.
Yeah.
A plus C equals fire.
There's context to it, but so she lights it on fire, and then I think we just bail. But as we're leaving, we see this giant monstrosity in the with the flames behind
Silhouetted
it,
in the flames. Yeah.
and it's just like tearing people apart. A couple of people or something. I remember it like fucking some people up. Anyways, this is giant, like, God. Super scary. So we run.
After it finished there, it catches up, obviously. You're trying to go, the guy with the knee can't keep up, he gets fucked. And then it's you, Awarthon, and Katsu trying to climb up this steep forest hill away from this thing, and it keeps intercepting you repeatedly. Yakusame ends up being fending it off in various ways. Katsu ends up just being useless, going insane.
Absolutely useless. He
Literally goes insane.
Yeah, go through that.
So, Katsu, completely crushed by the situation, unable to do anything, his mind literally shatters. So he immediately thinks that he's actually already dead, and so he tries to crawl inside of a coffin, which was actually a nearby ditch. And then when the party finally persuades him that he's not dead or dying, he resorts to finding the truth and the means to defeat this monster, which was a nearby stick. And like his life depended on it, he fucking dives to that stick, which was under the creature, and fights.
So he went for the
life
stick.
and death for that stick. And Yakusame's like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, I need it!
So Katsu's underneath this giant god creature for a stick. and Yakusame had to save his life. Almost kills Katsu. Katsu's basically dead on the ground, and Yakusame saves his life and like gets the thing off of him and pulls Katsu's dumb ass out of the fucking woods to safety.
Literally.
To survive. So we finally make it out, right? We get out of the woods. And yeah.
As you come up to the road, and I think you all passed out on the road and then got found by that wagon guy. The old man's like, what the fuck?
Yep, we just passed out there broken. But yeah.
And then
we had known this guy with a cart and this little girl, right?
They picked you up on the road on the way to town.
Yeah, they picked us up on the road.
Where their friends were. They were looking for the friends who had their knees.
Right, and they came across us. And we let them know what happened. Anyways, they were friendly, and we were friendly, and it all was going well. Like, that their friends are dead, and yada, yada, yada. And then they ended up welcoming us with open arms, kind of. And we have this wedding and this celebration, and the whole town is partying and having fun. And Katsu met, like, a new girlfriend or something.
White-haired fox.
The white fox.
Yeah, Luigi, why don't you go into some detail about what happened there?
Oh, fuck, dude. So, imagine, like a really wrinkled, like, 80-year-old grandmother, but you have so much liquor in you that she's hot as fuck.
You've been there. We've been there.
So, there was, like, some main questions
I don't know about you guys.
happening. Like, we met some, like, really nice, kind of, like, mousy farmer girl that kind of invited us out. Katsu didn't remember any of this. He's like, Yakusame, I need you to get her number for me. I need you to...
He got way too drunk.
I pull out my, like, super important, like, story scroll to, like, write a love note to her.
The one that whoever is writing back and forth with us on?
Yeah.
That scroll?
So I'm just writing some just, like, horrible, fucking trashy love note, just wasted.
To some
he
silver
wrote
fox.
it down on the love... He wrote it down in the scroll, then the love note disappeared.
So...
Because it went to the person who
read it.
Yeah.
And, from there... Take it away, Jbuck. Mostly because I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so the whole village is chasing after us, so we're looking for our friends to get out of here, you know. And we get there, and the little girl that was with the old man was on the cart as we're trying to get out of here. She was on there with the old man's head decapitated with like a knife, and super scary, crazy, right? So Yakusame does the only like, you know, thing you could do in that situation, and she Eldritch Blast that little girl in the fucking face.
Yeah, just fucking sent it.
Off of the cart, and bopped her out of there, right? And then we just kept going, but as we looked back, the village was still chasing us, and I believe we saw a beholder, question mark?
It was like a crazy gore appendage with like multiple eye stalks that just was horrifying and had the power to shoot lasers. Fuck that thing.
Yeah, something crazy. Anyways,
like it's a whole bit nasty.
So we ran from that in the village, and as we, you know, got away from that, we felt we were safe. We ended up getting jumped by goblins.
Bandits first.
Bandits first.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, bandits first, and then we came across. Okay, so at the party, Aludriea had met this nice little mousy girl, right? Katsu had, or no, actually, I think Yakusame had, and she became friends with her at the party. So Yakusame made a friend at the party, and then this friend was like, "Hey, I live here. You should come stop by sometime." You know, but she was like super shy and stuff. So Yakusame was like, "Yeah, cool. I'll come stop by sometime." So after we left, we were heading along the road, and we had stopped, and we were arguing or something, and somebody strolled off, and in the distance we saw this person walking, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there we were, Vietnam, right? No.
Hold on, I got the helicopter noises.
Let me set the scene for you.
Yeah, set the scene. I forgot where I was.
They still had the cart and the horses, and they were riding in there arguing about whether it was okay or not to have Yakusame blow that little girl out of the cart.
Oh yeah, right. Which is,
yeah.
I mean, not even an argument.
Hawthorne wandered off, fell into a trap, and then they went and rescued him. Came back, continued arguing, and they were going on these kind of valley hills riding on the path. And then, what did you see after you crested the hills on the road before you?
Yeah, we saw a humanoid. Turned out to be a woman of sorts. She was really fucked up. Her like Achilles tendons had been cut. She was all torn up. I think she was shackled. She's, super skinny, dehydrated.
Larynx was removed.
Yeah, she couldn't talk. She is fucking tortured and, messed up. And we find her on the road, and we're like, oh my god, we'll help you. And Yakusame remembers, I met this girl at the party. She lives real close to us, right here where we're at. Let's go drop her off there. We can't take her along with us. What are we going to do with this lady? Leave her here to die, So we're like, alright, let's go take her to that Yakusame's friend. So she remembers where it's at, and they go there. And they get there, and she happily takes the stranger back. Oddly enough.
I love how you said takes the stranger back. We didn't know that, did we?
Yeah, we didn't technically know that, but I knew that, but
I mean, yeah, but no.
But no, our character, Yakusame and Katsu didn't know.
So
that's where she came from.
She was like preparing dinner. She was really excited to have us stay, so she tried to make us something for the road real quick.
And we were like, no, we really gotta go. We really gotta go.
Though, turns out her cow's milk, because, she was a farmer, she had some cows, it tastes very similar to horse tranquilizer.
Yeah, and as we were leaving, drinking this milk, we passed out, if I remember correctly, or at least Yakusame was.
Yakusame passed
Y'all
out.
Passed out right in the wagon.
Yeah.
Katsu barely stayed awake enough to not crash it over the hills.
Yeah.
Didn't matter though, because we then got jumped by bandits, and the horses died anyway.
No, then we got jumped by goblins, right?
It doesn't matter. You guys got jumped by goblins and bandits repeatedly.
Well, it kind of does matter, because that's when we started to be like, okay, fuck these goblins, dude. We have to fight these guys. They're just gonna keep coming after us and fucking with us.
You guys got jumped by goblins 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same goblin too.
Right. And so it was up to that
goblin.
point, and so we're like, all right, we're gonna kill this main leader goblin, and then we'll be on our way. They'll stop fucking with us.
And then you guys had some notes on your scrolls that said "Beware the fog," yada yada yada.
That we didn't check at that point.
You rode right through the fog into the hills, which led you to the High Elf village.
Yep.
Continue.
And then we get to the village full of high elves. And a bunch of dickheads, to be honest, but we met some at the church or something. Azel, high elf, she seemed to be the leader of sorts. She was pretty cool. She had some information. Said that a bunch of kids have been going missing, and they had blamed these. What they didn't call them an Etten, right? What is?
They said there was a giant in the hills to the north.
Right.
And they noticed giant footprints near where the kids had gone missing, and they knew about the giants. So they killed that motherfucker, and there was a bounty for him.
Yeah. So since there's a bounty, they sent a bunch of people after this giant. Well, the giant killed the people, obviously, because they're not adventurers like us, right? And yeah. So all of these people are dying to this giant. So she's like, "You gotta go kill the giant, right?" And Yakusame at that time, she was like. She was like, "How do you have evidence that the giant's the one stealing the kids? Like, what's why do you just blame the giant?" And they're like, "Oh, it's just the giant." And then they wouldn't listen to Yakusame, so Yakusame's finally like, "All right, we'll go kill the giant. That's really what you want, whatever." So we go off and we go hunt this giant down. But I think on the way we had ran into some shit. Well, goblins too, but with the witch lady. And kids in the forest and shit. Now, I don't know exactly what happened. It's all a little spacey there, with flower children and I'm not really sure.
Fairies.
Maybe Aludriea can carry me through this part.
Yeah. In the forest, we had found one child, kind of per se. Which before this, our only encounter with the quote-unquote children in the area were a small boy who had killed a deer and was eating its intestines at night, which Katsu didn't see this. Freaked Yakusame and Awarth on that, so they were pretty on edge already about this quest. And then we find a kid, and the kid just fucking books it immediately. Like, see him in the bush, and they just go. And we found out that their like escape was being covered by little fairies, which Awarthon and Yakusame didn't see. So they just think Katsu's fucking crazy as shit. They stabbed me. I eventually found out where the giant was, and that the kid was being chased by well, what we found out later was a hag.
Yes.
Who had a different giant. That was good. So we're pointing towards the Etten Cave, and there.
Yeah, then we were like, alright, so let's go kill this giant, get this bounty or whatever, quote unquote, done for these people, maybe help them out, whatever. I don't remember why we're really helping them, to be honest.
They had a reward of magic items that sounded pretty dope.
At this point, that's how far it's been. I don't even remember why we have done any of this. Katsu died, and I don't even know why, so... But we couldn't, like, pull him out of there or anything. It was just like all we could do to try to keep him alive through the fight.
Like you tried.
And that right there is what Yakusame tells herself to get to sleep.
Exactly. It's not even an issue. It's not even an issue, guys.
Yeah, you guys didn't have days.
You have no idea.
Time that you spent building weird walls out of bones and sticks.
Yeah. And then, so we know the goblins are going to be coming, right? So we set up an ambush.
So, backtrack a little bit. The reason we know why the goblins are coming is we cut one of the Etten's heads off, we head outside, and we find one of the controlled children of the hag. And it's like, he starts reaching in his pocket, and he's like about to go over some exposition quest, and he's shot in the back of the head by a goblin. The same fucking goblin
that's been fucking with us.
That's been fucking with us this whole time.
So we're like, alright, this fucking goblin has to die, dude. But I think we scared him off.
He just ran off, he was like, ah, fuck you!
Yeah.
Like, he pincushioned us, he shot us like fucking 30 times, and then just dipped.
But, yeah. But before, last time we had seen him, we had kind of fended them off, right?
Yeah. So
I think they were still hurting from the last time we fought. And so they retreated for a little bit, so we were like, oh, they're probably still going to come back or something, you know. We were worried they were going to come back and destroy the village. So we set up an ambush at the cave as best we could off of Yakusame's rolls for traps, which was actually pretty good. Her crossbows were on punto, you know, it was really good. But other than that, our ambush didn't go so hot. I mean, it worked well. It went as planned. But Katsu didn't really follow the plan. So, as the goblins kind of came at us, and we got overran, as we planned, and we were supposed to retreat, Katsu decided he could just take them all on in a little 5-foot trench filled with goblins.
And fire. Don't
and
forget
fire. And
after throwing his sword on the ground.
After throwing his sword on the ground. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that part. And then he got killed, obviously. So we tried to save him. We couldn't go back for him. Yakusame and Awarthon had to get out, so we bailed. And then when we got outside, I think that's kind of where it basically ended, but we just kind of ran off and hid. And then
not quite. When you came out, you saw the goblin boss,
we did.
right?
Did we fight him then?
No. You got like the luckiest charm roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I charmed the boss there. And somehow we got away. And
you all fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we really wanted to fucking kill him, right? And so that's why we fought and did all the stuff that may have looked silly, but we had to kill that motherfucker. But that's why Yakusame didn't want to go back in the cave with all these goblins. She's like, dude, I just fought them all in there. I'll stay outside.
I set their clan on fire.